And now we're seeing a lot of criminal law with the news and the law enforcement people will typically tell a lawyer who the target is, if there's a target, or who the person of interest is or the subject is as to who they're looking at. But you don't talk directly to law enforcement. You go and get a lawyer who does nothing but defend the type of criminal situation you have. MartindaleHubble.com has been rating lawyers confidentially. We rate each other confidentially on Martindale.com. AV rating means top 15%. BV rating is between 15 and 30%, and you don't want anyone below that. AV rated in Martindale means that the other lawyers have confidentially rated them high. Now, that doesn't tell you whether they might charge a lot for doing a little, so you still have to check around. But the first thing I do when I get something from a lawyer that I don't know is I go to Martindale.com and I want to see their rating. Then I want to go to their website and see what kind of law they do. I had another situation on Tuesday having to do with a pretty complicated divorce in South Florida. And I went to the website of the lawyer my client was about to use, and divorce was the 9th area of law that this lawyer does. She does probate, she does wills, she does guardianships, she does contracts, and then way down was divorce law. So you think we're going to use her? Maybe we'll use her if we die for the will and trust, but we want to use a specialist in that area. So page 46, don't break the law, but you might still be breaking the law because there's so many laws. So if there are consultants in your area of business or your area of practice who consult regularly to help people comply with the law, have them come in for a day. Pay them their fee. They'll usually give you some great tips. They can usually smell problems before they happen. And then if you're breaking the law, you have evidence that at least you tried not to break the law. You know, I didn't know about that regulation that said I had to register this with that before I could do the other thing, but Polly Purebred was in here just 9 months ago. I paid her $1,500 and she didn't know either. And she told me 6 other things to do and I corrected all 6. So your consultants, based on whatever industry, if you're in the medical industry, there's lots of consultants. But whatever your industry is, and sometimes that consultant also works for the insurance companies and spots risks as well. Okay, page 48. As I said in San Diego, and a lot of you were in San Diego, don't associate with jerks. Just don't associate with people who your mother would not have approved. They will get you in trouble every time. It's like, well, they do a few things out on the fringe, but what they're doing with me is perfectly upright, and it's a great opportunity that they brought me. Don't do it. Lie with dogs, get fleas, or worse than fleas. Don't associate with dishonest people. Most people, despite what you might read, are very honest. And most of my clients are very honest. But that occasional person who comes in and says, well, you know, we routinely just backdate these things, and once we figure out what we should have done, then we paper it the other way, and my last lawyer told me I really didn't need to report. No, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. We're not a good match. And you have to try to be that way too. You know, you can run a detective report very easily. The retail cost of a detective report is $150. It will tell you all their past criminal history. It will tell you their bankruptcy history. It will tell you where all they've lived, what vehicles they've owned. It's a good thing to get. It's a good thing to get. And usually your lawyer can get you that report for $25 or $30. So that's a good thing. Check out the people you're dealing with. Don't deal with jerks or people who are dishonest. Okay, some contractual provisions. And when you look at your contracts, you want to know about these provisions. severability, if you have a contract and one part of it is illegal, then the whole contract may be unenforceable, including that non-compete that your business is dependent on. So you want to have a severability clause. Number two, you probably can't get attorney's fees and costs if you win a lawsuit in the United States unless you have an attorney fee provision. So if you think the other party's more likely to break the agreement, you want to have an attorney's fee provision. Number three, the waiver of jury trial, as I said.